We've got a new Avengers Doomsday leak that gives us a fresh new look at Doctor Doom, as well as pretty much the rest of the cast of Avengers Doomsday, at least the cast that Marvel has officially announced so far. And it looks like this leak actually confirms that another really big leak was true. We live in the time of AI where we don't really know. And so when a lot of photos got released before, a lot of people thought, well, these look really awesome, but they could be AI. But this seems to confirm that they were indeed real, which of course we will go over in this video. What is going on, Cosmic Crew? Thanks for stopping by the channel today. As you can see here, this is the leaked photo that has been going around online today. It seems to be obviously a comic coming up for Avengers Doomsday. This could be either a prelude comic or simply giving us some backstory about some characters, because there's a lot of characters in this and some we haven't seen for a pretty long time now. But if you take a look, and we're going to go over each of these characters, but if you take a look at the very bottom, we can see Doctor Doom. Now, he does look like the concept art that we have seen from him that does officially come from Marvel Studios. Here you get a better look at his mask, and it's really interesting because it actually does look like almost like it's making a facial expression, right? It looks a little bit different than the one that we saw before, but the suit overall looks pretty much the same. And as you can see, he even has the emblems on his chest still. One on the left is the Captain Marvel star. The one on the right is Thor's hammer. His armor looks pretty much the same. We can see a little bit more detail on his arms, but that's pretty much just chain armor once again. It kind of looks medieval. And we have seen that the leaked concept art for Avengers Secret Wars, where it's pretty much in a medieval time. But this is for Doomsday, not Secret Wars yet. I do find it interesting that to his left immediately is Sue and Franklin, because we've seen that concept art, like I said, and in Secret Wars where he sits on his throne, Sue and Franklin are on his side. Now, Doctor Strange is on the other side, but he is not in this photo. In fact, it only seems like the people who are in this comic on the cover are the people who were announced in that chair event. I haven't spotted anybody else that hasn't been announced. For example, Steve Rogers, we know he's in the movie, but was not announced during that chair event. He's not in this. So I think it's literally just those people who were announced in the chair event. And we're going to go over all of these people, but I do want to take a look at Alexei Shostakov first, the Red Guardian, because if you take a look there, if you zoom in right to his chest, you can see it's actually the new Avengers with a Z logo on his chest. He has sort of a new uniform here. And actually, if you bring it back to, again, like I said, these old leaked photos that we got, it looks exactly like them. If you can take a look here, you have plenty of shots of Red Guardian here, and he has that new Avengers with the Z logo on his chest. And the outfit looks exactly the same. So I think these leaks that we saw before were pretty real, especially if you consider that some of the other photos that we've seen on here, like for example, how Mystique looks, how the Fantastic Four look, how Doctor Doom look, it appears that they're all real. The biggest thing for me is actually the Fantastic Four all seem to be wearing jackets. And if you take a look at the comic here, the new leak, they're all wearing jackets. Except for the Thing, because he doesn't get one because he's the Thing, sadly. But Johnny's wearing a jacket, Sue's wearing a jacket, and Reed is wearing a jacket. And actually what's really interesting about this is Reed's jacket is white. The others aren't white. The others are kind of this Fantastic Four blue. And that's exactly as they show up here in these previous leaked photos. And it does seem like at this point in time, these are real, looking at them all now, because it just seems like, yeah, they're just getting shots of all the characters and their outfits. And I would normally say somehow they leaked, but I really think Marvel's leaking a lot of things on purpose here. I really do think Marvel's leaking things on purpose here. But as you can see, Johnny, his jacket is blue. And we did get the look at Cyclops here, which ended up being completely accurate when we got that X-Men trailer. And Mystique's outfit looks exactly the same here as well. So I think this new leak confirms those leaks were real. And then of course that bag leak from one of the crew members from the set of Avengers Doomsday had how everybody looked on it as well. And they look just like this and just like those leaked concept art photos, or they're not even concept art photos. They're just photos that literally were taken on set of the costume. So this is really cool. We're getting a great look at characters. We're getting leaks confirmed to be real now. Let's go over who's in this. Now from the top left, we're going to go from the top left to the right. We have Beast. It's kind of hard to make out, but I'm pretty sure that's M'Baku. Nightcrawler looks kind of not terrifying, but he looks like a little mischievous here. I do wonder the dynamic with some of the X-Men, like Mystique is a part of it. Are they all good? Are some bad? We've heard reports that Magneto actually does have his utopia. So perhaps all the mutants kind of get along together, and the fighting that we're going to see is really just between the X-Men and the Avengers and the Fantastic Four, and then Dr. Doom and his army, because we're hearing more and more lately that he has a following. This time we're hearing from the Hot Mic podcast, Jeff Snyder, that he has a following of witches with him. And when I hear that, I think Scarlet Witch. Again, we haven't heard anything specific about her. I just really want her to return. If not in Doomsday, definitely in Secret Wars. But hearing that he has witch followers from Jeff, and Jeff mentioned a few things about Doomsday that have already come true, that we've already been confirmed true. So seems like he has a really great source. So Doom's going to have a following, which we expected, but some of them are going to be witches. And I just, fingers crossed, one is a Scarlet Witch. So Nightcrawler, John Walker, above him, The Thing, Alexei Shostakov, Red Guardian. There we have him. Gambit, who I'm just super excited to see him return. And I'm really happy for Channing Tatum too, because he just really wanted to play Gambit. And now it's just, it's coming true for him in a really big way. We're going to go down now from right to left. We have Namor, Ant-Man, Cyclops, who we've already seen on screen now. He looks epic. The Winter Soldier. This is Joaquin Torres, or our new Falcon. Thor. This is Sentry. Shuri. Ghost. Loki. Shang-Chi. Magneto. I'm going to come back to him just a bit. Loki. Our current Captain America. Mr. Fantastic, Professor Xavier, wearing the exact same thing that he wore in the trailer for the Avengers Doomsday X-Men 1. And then, like we've seen before, Sue Storm, Franklin Richards, Dr. Doom, Yelena Belova, Johnny Storm. Now, I will say it's also interesting that Yelena is on the right of Doom, because in that leaked concept art, when he's sitting on the throne with Sue and Franklin to his side and Strange on his other side, Yelena was actually bringing somebody to him, and that person was on a chain, and she was holding the chain. So it seems like she works for him as well. So I'm wondering if this is very intentional here down at the bottom. The people right next to him work for him in Avengers Secret Wars. We'll have to wait and see on that. But I mean, if that concept art ends up just happening in the movie, we already know that's what's going to happen. I want to go back to Magneto because I love this helmet. I think it's really fantastic. And a lot of people were saying, well, Professor X has that, the military jacket on that it's already been confirmed he's going to wear because we've seen it on screen already. But Magneto didn't seem to be wearing a costume, or a comic accurate costume at least, but he was underneath it. It was purple. He was just wearing some type of, like cardigan or robe over it. But if we go to the leaked photos that we have been going over today, and it seems again like these are confirmed real now. If we go over these and we take a look at Magneto here, as you can see, it looks like he's going to have a very comic accurate costume. And he's got, the long hair, which we've already seen, which is great. And the helmet here, it shows the helmet here. And I think they just really went all out with the costumes to make them the best that they possibly can. And I love how Magneto looks here, like really colorful, really red, really vibrant. And we go to these other ones, it is kind of, I think depending on how the light hits it, a reddish, maroon-ish. But the cape over it, I am totally here for. Totally here for that. So all of these look just fantastic. And again, I do think these confirm those other leaks were real, which shows us that the Russo brothers and Kevin Feige, and really, I think just everything for Avengers Doomsday is just, they're putting so much thought and care into all of this that they're making sure everyone looks just perfect. Whether that's staying true to a very comic accurate look, like some of these are, or giving them kind of a fresh look that looks really good. Like the Fantastic Four with the jackets, I dig it. I think they look really, really cool. Red Guardian with his new Avengers logo on it with the Z. And I do think it's kind of funny that Red Guardian is the only one who has one on, right? Because he was all about that. That's what we saw in the Thunderbolts post-credit scene. He was all about it. So it makes sense that, you know, you don't see like Yelena with a new Avengers logo on her really anywhere. You did see them kind of in the post-credit scene, but Alexi's got it right there on the front rather than like the shoulder or something. Like Red Guardian is proud to be a new Avenger with a Z, even if it's like, you know, the knockoff Avengers. He is super proud. But I love this. I can't wait to see what this is about. Can't wait to see what they're going to tell us in this comic. Go ahead and let me know your thoughts about what this could possibly be. But things are getting really exciting. Again, I think Marvel might be releasing some of this on purpose. They're picking and choosing, you know, people to put it out. And I think it's a good strategy. I really do. It gets us really excited. I'm just super excited looking at this. Everyone looks fantastic. But hey, let me know your thoughts about this in particular, the previous leaks that seem to be proven true. And let me know if you think Marvel is leaking this on purpose. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest Avengers Doomsday and Marvel news. And you can also find us on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Snapchat. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.